Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have the review of the newly released HG Gundam Justice Knight. Now, I say newly, but I believe I'm a week late. Now, in Korea, this came out yesterday, but I believe I've been seeing some pictures of people posting their pictures of this kit on Facebook, starting from last week, so I'm assuming like Japan or China got it last week, so I might be a week late, so sorry about that on that aspect. Of course, I had no control of it, so yeah, whatever. So first of all, I would like to mention that this review is going to be a two-part review because on my last HG Earth 3 Gundam, a lot of you guys kind of had a really good reaction, and some of you guys really liked that video. So I decided to make more videos and that stuff as in more experimentation. So I'm going to try out a few more on kits and figures and figure out which is the better option, because I have been aware that my single videos has been going a little bit too long, so I do want to reduce some time on each video. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So first of all, here's how it's going to work. So on part 1, I'm going to be talking about the actual, just the Gundam itself on part 1, and then on part 2, I'll be showing you guys the option parts. Which is actually, this thing is actually called the support machine that you see on the back, and I'll talk about that and the specific equipment, and then I'll attach the support machine onto the Justice Knight, and then show you guys how the articulation changes. Alright, so let's see what we got. So first of all, let's go on with components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is the Gundam itself, the Gundam Justice Knight. This is from the new build Re-Rise anime, and is piloted by the comedy. Everybody had some high hopes for this unit, but he became the more comedic unit. Alright, so other than that, what you get, of course, is his sword, which is on his side and actually has a sheath. I believe according to the manual, it's called the Galatine Long Sword. Now the thing is, I don't think we've actually seen it being used in the anime yet, so we're going to have to wait until what this thing really does. And then, as I mentioned, this is the support machine, which composes of the circle shield, and then the Knight wing, and then the spear, which is called the Raite Shot Lancer. So a lot of people were kind of asking whether this Lancer is more of the Jinx version from 00, but I'm going to say this is more of the F91 series, like the one how the one we see that, like the Shot Lancer, yeah, the Shot Lancer, how it works. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So as I mentioned, the full attachment will be on part 2, so keep that in mind. So let's see what we got. So, oh yeah, before that, we need to talk about any stuff. So there are technically no leftover pieces, but we do have these two pieces. Now, I guess you could kind of consider them as a leftover piece. So there's two of them. They may look like the same, but they're actually different. So number one, what this does is you can attach this. You can attach this section to the back like this. Sorry about that. I mean to this like this, and then this allows you to attach any other Gunpla weapon parts or backpacks onto the kit, because the backpack, well, I also thought these were more of a thruster thing, but no, these are actually more of a part, holes. And the other one is the opposite way. So if you want to attach the wings onto other kits, this is what you use. Alright, so since we got that done, and then we have some stickers, and I did use every sticker. So there's not much actually. There's the eyes, the cameras, and then I believe these were for the chest vents, and then here we have the leg vents. I'll point them out as we go on to the review. Alright, so let's see. Now, I would like to mention they did an extremely good job regarding the part separation or color separation on this kit. Okay, so let's start with the head. Now, the head, some people, according to some people, there's a lot of mixed opinions regarding the head, but I personally like it because some people don't like that vents on the head, but it definitely gives out that Knight vibe, so I'm pretty happy with it. So, as you can see, other than the eyes, everything is color separated, and the camera, of course. The V-fin is very big, and because of that, even the nub marks or the safety nubs on the V-fins are very big. They're actually usually bigger than they usually see. And there's also one more camera on the back of the head. So the head articulation is pretty good. It can go down that much. Up, not so much. 360 is possible. Now, everything on the kit may feel a little bit stiff because, once again, this kit does not use any polycaps. So they use all those plastic, ABS plastic ball joints, which I have kind of sanded some down just to make sure I don't break anything because I'm still traumatized by my Master Grade Alex 2.0 situation. Okay, and then here is the body. Everything is color separated. So the top section, this section is actually a separate part. The Vulcans are actually a separate part, which are connected to the bottom sections, if I remember correctly. And then this green section, which was kind of the most out of place color slash part, but it's actually a color separated pieces. So you can see there's layers of pieces. Yeah, and then these white sections are actually inside here, which are supposed to be connected to the waist section right over here, or the lower body. These black vents, those are actually stickers. I would like to mention that. So yeah, here we have the first set of stickers, and then we have a nice ab crunch going on here. Well, it's, yeah, you can see it bends about a good amount. And then there's also supposed to be like a side movement according to the peg, so you can move left and right. Of course, attaching that part was kind of stiff, so even so, this gimmick might be very stiff for most of you people as well. And yeah, I think I'll take off the sword for now because it is getting in the way. So here the sword actually has a sheath here. Yeah, the only issue I'm having with this kit is mostly the feet. So we have the sheath, the gold section, the gold parts, the brown part are separate pieces. The sword is a single piece, entirely white. Now, I did point out this may sound. Now, I kind of sharpened my sword a little bit up because when you first get it, it's very roundish on the end tip right over here. So you can see mine's a little bit sharpened up, but it's actually more dullish and more roundish, so keep that in mind. No color at all, just pure white, and haven't been seen in the anime yet, so we'll have to wait about that section. But it plugs in right away, and it's not loose at all, so no need to worry. And here's the peg that connects to the waist, because the waist actually, or the side skirt, has these holes on each side, so you can connect them. Okay, so let's look at the arms. Now, the arms were pretty interesting, or at least the build. Now, some people pointed to me that this is actually the recent Destiny style build, which I don't have, so I was never aware of. So, as I mentioned, they're using the plastic ball joints, and they actually pop out. They can actually pop out like the master grades we usually see today. So yeah, it can go forward and backwards thanks to the ball joint. 360 twist is possible, and then can go to the side about. So we have this armor piece. The shoulder is a separate piece, and this yellow slash gold section. Now this is more of a gold color, so keep that in mind, not yellow. The shoulder does move on its own, and then this section, the flaps also move around like this, and then I'm not sure what these are for, but they also open up like wings, so I'm pretty sure they have some sort of purpose. But because of the shoulder armor, and then if you work your way through, you can go about 90 degrees to the side for the arms, 360 twist on the actual arm itself, 360 rotation on the 360 rotation on the entire arm. Sorry about that. And then double jointed bend and ball jointed hands. Now, because there's no polycaps, the connection is on the wrists are pretty stiff, but not to the point where it's going to break like the Alex 2.0. And then here we have a hole for the equipment, for like the shield and such. Okay. And hands, we only get the multi-purpose hands. I should mention that. Okay, so now let's get the waist section. Now the front skirts, they come in individual pieces, unlike most kits would come in a single piece and you have to cut in the middle. Not this case. So you can move them individually. Those purple sections are all individual pieces. We have a side skirt that can move about that much. Now the back skirt, when you're first building this, it may look like it's supposed to flap around, but that's not the case because there's actually there's some sort of gimmick here, which I'm not sure if I can show you guys properly, but I'll do my best. So what you can do is technically on the legs first, we have this moving joint here. So here's the first connection. There being a side swivel, you can swivel the side, and then you can move the leg to the side 90 degrees, and then you can go forward about 90 degrees. Of course, the knee might get collide with the armor, the front skirts. So this gimmick. Oh, and this thing is still here. So you can leave this here, but this is technically a action-based connector. It doesn't really get in the way, so I just usually leave it there, but I'll just take it out to make you guys notice. So what I meant is that you can flip up this section over here, and you can see there's two pegs, and then there's 4 holes there. What you can do is that you can latch open this section joint right over here and change the positions of the leg. So by doing this, I guess you can get a more dynamic pose or something. But yeah, and then the tricky part is that you have to latch the pegs onto the outside holes. Before that, they were on the inside holes. So yeah, and I'm having a little bit trouble doing it because it's not easy as you think. But yeah, you kind of get the gist of it. So what this does is that it kind of spreads out the legs a little bit more, which I'm not really too sure why this is a thing, but yeah. Alright. And then here we should look at the legs now. The legs are also, everything is pretty much part separated, but of course on the gold section, those black vents are all stickers. And then we have, now we do technically have ball jointed feet or ankles. But once again, being the plastic ball joints, I do suggest that you be careful, and they can't move side to side that much because these parts are actually these spikes, and this armor piece is kind of colliding with the situation. Well, it's not technically colliding; it's just that it's very stiff, and even though because of the armor, it won't go to like 360. So keep that in mind. And then we have somehow a nice toe bend. And then this purple section is actually a color separated pieces, which I'm not too sure what it is. Maybe it could be another extra thruster going on, but yeah. Alright, so we've pretty much seen the basic articulation, so let's take a look at the weapon that's technically latched on to the Justice Knight Gundam. Gundam Justice Knight, sorry. And I don't know, the name is kind of odd to me. So here we have the sword. Now, I believe you can plug it in. Yeah, you can just plug it in if you want to. Of course, that was kind of forced, but I believe on the manual it does mention to take off the handguard and then reattach it. But either way works. I did mention that the sword kind of looks a little bit short, but according to some people who play D&D, this could be kind of normal. So I'm not blaming you guys. Just thank you for just mentioning that to me. So yeah. Oh, regarding the legs as well, I only showed you guys the basics. So it also has a double jointed bend, so no need to worry. And a lot of people were saying that this is based on the Justice Gundam, but according to the manual, this is actually based on the Infinite Justice. So I believe we might get an Infinite Justice first, but then again, the Infinite Justice is technically based on the Justice Gundam, so either way, we'll be getting both in the future. That's what I'm going to say. So yeah, of course, for this sword, I believe they didn't do that special gimmick thing, but which is why you might feel it a little bit gimmicky, or I mean shaky a bit. But the other weapons, there are some stuff that I was kind of impressed regarding that. But anyway, this was pretty much part 1 of the Justice Gundam. I mean, sorry, not Justice Gundam, the Gundam Justice Knight. Sorry, the name really gets me confused. And on part 2, I'll be showing you guys how the equipment stuff works. So on how they attach and how the weapons work as well. So stay tuned for part 2, and I'll be right back.